So hello and welcome back to week 5, lecture 1 of Engineering 101. And we will be building a circuit in Tinkercad that creates a liquid crystal display. A liquid crystal display, or an LCD, is basically a way to show text or sensor data. And the reason we will be using this is to learn how to incorporate libraries into our code. Sometimes we use libraries in our code when we want to use some very complicated electronic device. And so to keep us from having to figure out how to write all of that code, if you use the library, you can then use all of the library functions. So this is a 16 by 2 pixel LCD, as shown here, that we will connect to our Arduino. So here's an image of what the LCD is going to look like. So it does take up a lot of room on your breadboard. So it will be on one complete side of the breadboard, and then the wires will jump to either a pin on the microcontroller or to the voltage or ground bus. And we will use that schematic that I showed on the previous screen in order to determine where to make the connections in Tinkercad. And then once we make them, we will use the library functions in order to write text to the LCD. This is an image, once again, a little bit more difficult to follow, but it's the physical diagram of how you wire the LCD to the microcontroller.
Okay, so let's get started wiring. The first thing I'm going to do, I already have the Arduino and the breadboard on the screen, is I type LCD, and I am going to put the LCD on one side of my breadboard, and then I'm going to start wiring. I have put an example, once again, of the wiring diagram in the bottom right, because I know this does get a little difficult to follow. The good news is the very first pin says G and D. We know that G and D stands for ground, so you're going to wire that to ground. The next pin says VCC, and we're going to wire that to voltage. And then the next pin says VO, and we're going to wire VO to the middle of our potentiometer. Then next we're going to have R5, which goes to pin 12. RW goes to ground. E goes to pin 11. Next, we're going to have DB0, and DB0 is going to go to nowhere. So we skip DB0, 1, 2, and 3. Then DB4 goes to 5. DB6 goes to 4. Sorry, DB5 goes to 4. DB6 is then going to go to 3. DB7 is going to go to 2. And now what you're going to notice is it depends on the library, but it also depends on the LCD. So although the original schematic we had said to send the first part of the LED to voltage and the second half to ground, you're going to see that when I do this in the simulation, it is not going to work, although this example from the SparkFun breadboard does work. So I am going to have to add a resistor in order to correct for that. Please come back for more and stay SimTastic.